The All Black captain has joined us, Richie McCaw. Welcome in, mate. Firstly, well, you're heading off to your fourth World Cup. I mean, how does the feeling change between your first and your fourth?
Well, it's still exciting. I think the first one didn't know what to expect. Second one thought I did know what to expect, but still didn't. And now I think sitting here, you realise what it takes. But there's a huge amount of excitement that we got the opportunity, and I think that's the way I sort of look at it.
It's an interesting selection because yes, a lot of experienced players, but a couple of very exciting newer players that they've added to the side, Waisaki Naholo and Nehi Milner-Skudder, which I guess might have surprised some people, but brings you some real attacking flair.
Absolutely, and the best thing about this year, and it's put everyone on edge a wee bit, but having 40 and the 41 or whatever it was, knowing that there's only 31 going, meant that everyone's had an opportunity, and those guys have certainly taken it. We saw in that last test the two touches that Nehi had that effectively, resulted in points scored. That's the type of men you want and get excited about. So I think we've got a really good balance of men that know. Been there before, and hopefully we can pass on, let them know what it's going to take, but also the excitement.
Richie, there's been a lot of talk about the leadership group within the All Blacks over the last few years. Is it something that's come together in the last couple of weeks since Bledisloe to have a bit of an influence, give some feedback to the selection panel in terms of the way you see players and the composition of the group?
Probably not so much in terms of who's going to be there. I think we've certainly given some feedback on. We had a great example of what to do and what not to do in the last 2 weeks in the two Bledisloes, where we got it right and we didn't get it right. So, being able to get those learnings, I think that's been the key part. Leave the selection up to the selectors, the other ones that sort of take the view from above. But I think what's great now is you don't have to worry about selection. The guys, aren't worrying about, geez, what have I got to do to get there? They can just think about what I've got to do for the team to perform. And I guess that's been the chat amongst the leaders.
And in terms of the style of game that you want to play, I mean, everyone's talking about attritional rugby, winning in Northern Hemisphere conditions. I mean, is that something that you want to perhaps not be drawn into, that you want to play it your own way, or do you have to balance things out?
Everyone will go and having their own, love to dictate the game every minute the way you want it. And, I know the ways you want to play, but some days, you've got to adapt on the hop, and the teams that can deal with whatever comes at them, they're the ones that are going to be there at the end. So, whether it's wet day, whether it's dry day, whatever, we've got to be able to back ourselves and have plans and be able to deal with whatever comes. But it's always the way at this time of year where we go up to the Northern Hemisphere to what you play in the Rugby Championship. It's slightly different, but, you've got to deal with it.
Are you looking forward to enjoying the event, maybe a little more this time and spending less time in the physio room, hopefully?
Well, I hope so, yeah, touch wood. But this time, 4 years ago, I was thinking I was all good too. So, look, enjoyment's a funny word, I think excited by the challenge, excited by how tough it's going to be. You get enjoyment out of nailing the bits along the way so that you can go and perform when it really counts. That's the bit that gets me excited, and I think this team. So whether you say it's enjoyable in every moment, probably not, but if you get it done right, it's pretty satisfying.
I was at a function the other day with Graham Henry, and he claims you told him that the last 20 minutes of the Rugby World Cup were the best 20 minutes of your life. He couldn't believe that because he was having some kind of meltdown up in the box. But I mean, is it sort of what you live for, what you strive for, those situations, and obviously some ahead of you at this World Cup coming up?
If you didn't want to be in those situations, well, we're probably going to the wrong place in the next 6 weeks. You've got to want to be there, because being able to handle those situations, to call yourself a world champion, you've got to be able to do that. And had we not gone out on the right side of it, I might not have said that same thing. But we were tested, and we're going to get tested, and it's that's where the top players, the top teams stand up.
Because there's no question, as defending champions, you're going to have a target on your back, aren't you, as a team?
I think the All Blacks always do, and the first bit we've got to realise is we're not going there to defend it, because this isn't the same team that won it 4 years ago. Yep, some personnel were there, but you got to, like everyone else, you're back at the start line, and it's whoever makes the best of the 7 weeks. and you know, you're only guaranteed 4. So that's just the way it is.
There's a remarkable story in this team, of course, of Waisake Naholo, who's been cleared to play despite the fact that he fractured his leg not so long ago. It's a shame you didn't know about this alternative treatment about 4 years ago, Richie. You could have saved yourself a world of pain.
Oh, absolutely. It's great, you know, like to see him, you know, get a crack. And you know, the one outing he had, he made a pretty good fist of it. Obviously, earned a spot there through what he did with the Highlanders. So it's great that a guy like that's going to get a shot.
Well, Richie, thanks very much for joining us here. I know you've got a lot of engagements now downstairs, so we'll let you get away. But thanks so much again, and congratulations on being named All Black captain again, and best of luck for the World Cup, huh?
Thanks, appreciate it.
Okay. Well, let's head back downstairs now. We've just been talking about him. Waisake Naholo is standing by with Scotty Stevenson.
Thank you very much, Tony. Waisake, congratulations to you. How did the phone call come through this morning? Who was it from?
It was from Shandy, our manager, saying, yeah, I was still just at home with my brother, and then my phone started ringing. It was Wellington number, I guess. And then, yeah, so, yeah.
Now, he speaks very quietly, Darren Shan. Did you realise you were in the team straight away, or did it take you a while to click?
It took me a while. Yeah, then he was speaking really slow, and I thought it was going to be bad news for me. And yeah, just at the end he said congratulations and yeah, it was quite short as well. So.
But it has been an amazing month for you to debut for the All Blacks, but then, of course, to limp off the field at AMI Stadium and know that there was something seriously wrong, then to have faith in traditional medicine in Fiji, to make that trip, to take the effort, to get yourself fit and to be in this team. I mean, you've fitted a lot in to the last month. Has it been painful? Has it been hard work? Explain to me the emotions that you've gone through over the last 30-odd days.
Yeah, it's just have been like really frustrating. Just not being able to do anything and just sitting there and watching the boys play and train and knowing that I could be there as well, and yeah, it was just really frustrating. Yeah.
The boost to the Fijian economy coming now that you are standing here before me, and I see you've got itchy feet as well, so they are working, that is for sure. To come into this team today and to meet up with all these boys again, what was the welcome like for you?
Yeah, it was good. Everyone's talking about my leg and that, but yeah, it's just one thing that I really wanted to do so that I can be able to be a part of this as well. So yeah, it's just the boys have been really welcoming as well, and yeah.
You go into this cup and we know that the All Blacks want to play an exciting brand of rugby and they want to use you as much as possible. The thought of going up there and being a key strike weapon for this team, how motivating is that for you?
I mean, going to the World Cup by itself is really motivating, and to be part of this great team as well. It's been really motivating for me as well, and yeah, I just got to wait and I got to take my chances at training and that, and really when the time comes, I just got to do my thing.
Fair to say this is a dream come true for you?
Yeah, well, since this year. It was never a dream growing up in Fiji, and that I didn't believe I'd ever put the black jersey on, but yeah, it's a dream come true.
You've had the chance to wear it once and you'll have the chance to wear it again. Again, we congratulate you, mate, and thanks very much for giving us your time this evening here at Parliament. Cheers, Waisake.
Thanks, Suma. Thank you.
Righto, Tony, back to you, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Scotty. That is a great story, that one. The young man who came to New Zealand, came to Wanganui, in fact, to go to school, and he got picked in the Wanganui team when he was still at school, and look where he's come, and look what he's had to do to get here. Just think about it. It's not that long ago that he was walking off the field at AMI Stadium in Christchurch with a fractured leg. He's gone back to Fiji. He's received this amazing treatment, the wonders of ancient science, I guess you could say, and here he is. He's been picked in the All Black side. Such an interesting selection. In fact, we'll go back over the team. We'll be joined by more of the players very shortly. Let's have another quick look at the team, just in case you've only just joined us here at the Beehive in Wellington. There you go, the three hookers, Coles, Taylor, Mialamu. What a trooper he has been. Kevin Mialamu, Franks, Crockett, Woodcock and Charlie Famawina. The 5 props, as expected, as required, have been named. 3 locks, Sam Whitelock, Luke Romano and Brodie Retallick, and 6 loose forwards. So that's the split. They were talking maybe 4 and 5, but they've gone with 3 and 6 Kane, Canel, Messam, McCaw, Reid and Victor Vito. Halfbacks times 3. They weren't going to risk in the end going in with a makeshift halfback perhaps. They want 3 specialists there. Aaron Smith obviously heading the trio, TJ Perenara and Taura Kurbalo, who himself has come back from a very bad injury. He is the 3rd halfback. And the first 5s, well, Merch, as I say, it's tough luck for Lima Sopawanga, but we know that, and let's face it, they needed 4 at the last World Cup. He's only a plane ride away, isn't he?
Well, it was a tough ask for Lima Sopawanga no matter what he did. They've got 3 guys who are established and who have performed well. You can't take 4. So, you know, the other thing about halfback, I think Kurbalo does bring that slightly different style of play probably. They've all got a good pass. We know Aaron Smith's got the best pass in the game. TJ Perenara very similar to Smith in terms of the style. Kurbalo does bring that slight difference and probably a little bit more physicality, a little bit more grittiness, and that's probably that is balanced up nicely in that group of 3 halfbacks they've got. But you know, nobody can begrudge any of those guys. They're proven performers, and they've been justifiably backed by the selectors.
Well, the midfield combination, we're just about to talk to one of them too, because Conrad Smith's about to join us. Ma'anonu, Conrad Smith, Sonnyville Williams, Malakai Fekitoa, and the back 4, the outside backs that we've been talking about, Naholu, Savia, Nehi Milner-Skudder and Ben Smith. And we're joined now by Conrad Smith heading off to another World Cup. Tell me about the process of getting into this building today unnoticed. There's been so much subterfuge going on today.
Yeah, we haven't been too aware of it. We just obviously assembled at the hotel, and I was like everyone else, you know, I didn't know the side. Obviously we met at the hotel at about 4, and I got given a rooming list, so that was the first I saw, and I was like everyone else, pretty interested to see who was in the team, and looked through that, and then we just had a short meeting and jumped on a bus and came in some secret back entrance to the Beehive, and here we are.
Yeah, but your 3rd World Cup, but does it still feel as good as the first one?
Yeah,
selected?
I mean, it's obviously much different. You know, each one, different stages of your career, you, I suppose different emotions that go through making the side, but certainly, you know, I think it's excitement. It's the main thing, regardless of how long you've been playing. It's you know, it's obviously a massive challenge, and you know, they don't come around every year. So to be involved in another one is it's going to be pretty exciting. And you know, there's a big group of us that are pretty determined to, you know, make sure it's remembered for the right reasons.
Clearly there's a lot of celebration here tonight, Conrad, but it's obviously not the end of a journey, as Steve and Richie and yourself have all alluded to. It's the start of a journey. So what's the immediate focus after tonight?
Yeah, I think we've, you know, that's been said by Steve already. You know, it's tonight we obviously enjoy the fact that the team's been named, and for us, being a part of it, to be named is special. But you know, from tomorrow, you know, the hard work starts, and I think most guys are all aware of that. You know, we know it's now it's just a big challenge, like I said before, that lies ahead of us, and you know, the work. There's obviously a lot of work that's already gone into it, but now it you know, ramps up to another level, and you know, it's something I'm, you know, looking forward to.
You're part of the leadership group of this team. You were at the last Rugby World Cup. What are the sort of things that you can pass on to the young guys that have been selected for their first World Cup? What to expect?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot you need to say. I think as a leadership group, we talk about taking control of the team, I suppose, and using, you know, drawing on a bit of experience. And you know, there's a few of us that have been both through the disappointment of 07 and then, you know, the victory in 11. But we know it's, you know, it's a fine line. There's small margins that lead to those results. So, you know, I think there's just going to be a real good focus on getting the little things right, because that's, you know, you have a great squad. You know, there's great squads in 07 and 11, but it's just small things that you got to focus on, and that ultimately, you know, dictates how you end up.
Conrad, there are obviously a few guys you've played a lot of rugby with who are unlucky to miss out, and that's always the case. Without dwelling on that, though, little teammate of yours, Nehi Milner-Skudder, he's had a pretty good season. What was his face like when you first saw him tonight?
Yeah, he was big grin, big smile on his face, and rightly so. You know, he's had you know, amazing. Well, it's not even 12 months. You know, that he's had, obviously. Getting opportunities with the Hurricanes, and then, you know, the team going well, and obviously him being a big part of that's opened an opportunity to this side, and you know, he's just hasn't needed, you know, a couple of games, but everyone I think saw the quality, you know, that he does possess. So, you know, he's he's got a big future, and it's probably come about, particularly with this side quicker than he thought. But he's more than good enough to make the most.
He gets given some good ball on the outside, it's fair to say. Did he say thank you?
Yeah, no, he's quality. It's something I do. I think most older guys sort of say that you just enjoy seeing guys come through and play so well, and just such a does things I could only dream of. But he's just such a nice bloke to go with it, so it's I'm stoked for him.
Yeah, okay, Conrad, look, thanks very much for joining us up here. Congratulations on your selection, and best of luck for Rugby World Cup 2015.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, and let's head down now to the man who we've just been talking about. It's certainly in his blood. Two members of his family before him, George Scudder and Buff Milner, were All Blacks, and now Nehi Milner-Skudder is on his way to the Rugby World Cup. He's with Scotty.
Thanks very much, Tony. Nehi, congratulations. And I understand that you've had the longest hug of your life from your mum.
Yeah. So when I gave her the news this morning, I think it ran just over 3 minutes. So, you got a proud mum there, and it's been awesome.
Carrying on a family tradition as well, and you're very aware of your family tradition in this sport. Wonderful to think that all these years later you get to put on that black jersey as well. It must be some sort of feeling for you.
Yeah, a bit of pedigree there. I actually caught up with Uncle George last week when we had the camp up in the Mount. So yeah, that was cool to just sit down and have a yarn with him, and just to know that he's donned the black jersey as well as my Uncle Buff. It's pretty unreal to follow in their footsteps.
Conrad Smith was just talking to Tony Johnson upstairs and to Andrew Mertens as well, and he said your chances probably come a little bit quicker than you expected, but it's based on form. The way you've performed for not only the Manawatu over the recent seasons, but the Hurricanes this year and into the Rugby Championship. What do you put that form down to?
A big part of it staying injury-free. I think the first few years playing ITM, had quite a few niggles, and would only get through half games or half a season here and there, whereas last year I managed to get a whole season out, and that sort of gave me a bit of confidence just to, that the body was holding up and I could stay out on the field and do my thing. And I think that's helped, as well as, progressing through the environments, playing with some awesome people, and it's kind of hard not to play well when you've got legends alongside you. So, yeah, that's helped as well, mate.
There's one more question for you. I know you're going up there, and I know that you want to thrill and you want to excite people with how you perform on the field, but first step for you now, what is it? Just keep being excited, just keep going off the buzz, and sort of what got me here, and then I guess it starts again to some respect. The hard work starts from here again, and just making sure I keep working hard to improve myself as a player, and just go from there. You're a very humble man. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. Congratulations again, Nehi Milner-Skudder. Back to you, Tony.
Yeah, cheers, Scotty. Yes, for some players it's all a new experience. For some, well, we've got 3 players in this team have been to 4 World Cups. A couple have been to 3, and quite a number that this will be their 2nd World Cup. We're joined by one of those now, Kieran Reid. Firstly, Kieran, congratulations. When did your day start? When did you come up to Wellington? Where have you been hiding?
Thanks, TJ. Yeah, got the call this morning. I was in the shower actually when I got the call phone from me, so I had to chuck a towel on, and then we flew up this afternoon. So pretty exciting to see all the Canterbury boys, the Christchurch boys get on the plane, and then as we got up here, catch up with everyone else.
You've got a newish member from the Crusaders from Canterbury in the side, in Cody Taylor, who's claimed one of the hookers berths. I mean, tell us about his progress. I mean, obviously a player that when you first saw him, did he stand out to you as a guy who could go a long way in the game?
He certainly did, yeah. Cody was the type of guy who had all the talent. Certainly was a great man when he was first came in, had all the skills, and I think he's just shown his work ethic. This year especially, he's worked so hard at his core roles, I guess, of a hooker, to throw and to scrum, and it's just added to his game, so he fully deserves to be here right now.
And so what do you say to the young players? We're talking about this with Conrad, and as far as you're concerned, what you can pass on to them about the World Cup, because it is totally different from your normal rugby in between the World Cup years.
Yeah, it is totally different. I think, and it's a raise on intensity. You talk about Super Rugby to test level. I guess from normal test matches to World Cup knockout games is another level, but we've just got to, embrace that. Tell them that it's, in some ways you've got to do your preparation as well as what you'd normally do, and then get out there, and you've got 22 other blokes alongside you who are doing their best. So you just go out there and do your thing, and you should be right.
Obviously, it's not just tonight, Kieran, that you start thinking about the World Cup. It's been in the back of everyone's minds, I'm sure. But what are your thoughts going into a tournament in the UK in September and October in terms of your expectations, forward play-wise, up against some pretty big packs potentially?
Yeah, definitely been thinking about that a little bit, to be honest. Certainly the game will be played in a different style, I guess, to maybe what we're used to, over the last few games. So we've just got to be prepared to adapt to that. Perhaps a greasy ball, perhaps teams, really shut you down with their line speed or, want to drive you in the line out. So, look, we'll adapt to that. But, just got to be prepared to, go with whatever happens, but certainly we'll be preparing for those things.
Is it something that you have the luxury of working on a little bit in tests in the build-up to World Cup? Maybe go for periods in the game where you say, right, we know we can play this style of game, but let's change it up for a while with a view to what's coming in September and October?
I guess we probably haven't done that too much. We've certainly got plans in place for eventualities, if it rains, or whatever happens. But I think you've got to play what's in front of you. For us, that's the way we play best. So we don't want to be thinking about too many other permutations. We can go out there and play to our ability, play to our structure that we have. Certainly that's going to be hard to beat.
Just in terms of the type of rugby we've talked about, the quality of the opposition. Sean Fitzpatrick, you might have heard it on the little item that we played before the team announcement. He's predicting that this is going to be the toughest World Cup yet. And I guess he's referring to the fact that there are probably 6 or 7 teams are seen as realistic contenders. Would you go along with that?
Yeah, I would, yeah. I think, you look at the 3 or 4 Southern Hemisphere teams, and then you chuck in, most of the, Six Nations teams. It's going to be tough, and you look at a few teams that might struggle to get out of pool play. So by the time you get to that quarter-final stage, it's anyone's game, and which is what you want, and what you want turn into a World Cup for the fans, even for us. You want to be tested against the best in the world, and we're certainly going to get that no matter who we play. There's teams capable of winning this thing. Okay, Kieran. Well, thanks for coming up, having a chat with us, and good luck with the preparations. All the best for Rugby World Cup 2015. Thanks, mate. Okay. Cheers, guys. Cheers, Kieran Reid there. And, as much as the players, the fans are looking forward to Rugby World Cup, we're looking forward to it too here on Sky Sport, because we've got some wonderful programming lined up for you, and programming that features some very special people.
What would it be, lads? I just reckon a brew, bro.
A brew, bro?
No, a brew, bro. A brew, bro.
A brew.
A beer.
A bear?
A beer.
A beer.
I'll have 3 LMPs, mate.
Yes, Jeff Wilson, Joel Stransky and George Gregan, just a couple of the faces that are going to be appearing on some of our regular shows throughout the duration of Rugby World Cup 2015. We've got rooftop rugby. We've got a primo spot at New Zealand House right in the middle of London. That'll be on every Saturday from 9:30 p.m. World Cup Weekly every Monday, 8:30 p.m, also live from London. And as well as those fine gentlemen you saw there, we're also going to have the likes of Sean Fitzpatrick joining us, some international stars as well. So look forward to all our coverage of Rugby World Cup 2015. Let's go back down to the floor now, and we'll be talking to some of the newer players. Well, here's someone who missed out last time, but he's here this time, Liam Messon with Scotty.
Yeah, thanks, TJ. Yeah. 4 years ago, it was a very different feeling, mate. Explain to me how you felt this morning when you got that phone call and it was you're in the team.
Yeah, just a sense of relief, I guess. It's been a hard 4 years. It's been a struggle, but it's been worth every minute of all those, I guess, hard times.
You've got a big smile on your face, and you're not alone, because we were just chatting to Wyatt Crockett earlier, and he was also in the same position as you were 4 years ago. But tonight it's all about excitement now, building towards this World Cup, something that I know you are desperate to be a big part of. The sense in the hotel today when all the boys got together, what was that like for you?
Yeah, like you said, a lot of happy faces, and you could just see it when the boys walked in to greet each other, just the buzz just about, making the squad, and I guess the hard work really starts now.
Talk to me about that feeling when you're in this environment, but perhaps you're not getting the game time you want. Do nerves start to set in? Are there doubts about whether you can cut it at that level? And do those doubts ever go away?
Well, I guess they do, but I guess that's an experience thing and a learning thing. And I guess if you have the mindset, whatever's best for this team, and you just do your part, whatever it takes, then you're in a good mindset. So the nerves are always going to be there. That's just part of being a professional footy.
You got Jerome Kano trying to take selfies over his shoulder here, which is not exactly handy when I'm on live TV. But thank you, Jerome. It's your night, not mine.
I think it's a Snapchat.
What about the family? What did they have to say today when you told them that you were going to be a part of this 31-man squad?
Yeah, I'm very proud. I didn't tell my parents. My old man was freaking out this morning, texting me every 5 minutes. So I just thought I'd let him wait for the announcement tonight. But my wife's very, very happy. My son's a bit sad because he understands I'm going to be away for a long time. But this is part of footy, so they're very proud and very proud to represent them.
We've spoken a lot about the guys here tonight, and so we should. It is your night, but there are some guys you know pretty well who won't be making it on this initial trip at least. What's the message to them from the guys who've been around them for a long period of time?
Yeah, you've got to feel for those guys, and like you said, I've been through that experience. Tomorrow the sun will rise. They'll still be disappointed, and that's that's professional rugby. But you've got to put your head down and keep working hard, and you never know what could happen. I've been with the Beeve the last couple of weeks, so look, he's turned into a massive superstar now. So anything could happen. So just keep your head down and keep working hard.
We know how hard-working you are. We know how passionate you are, mate. I'm sure you're going to have a great tournament. Congratulations on making it all the way to Rugby World Cup, Liam. Thanks for your time.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, eh? Back to you, Tony.
Yep, thanks, Scotty. Joined now by All Black coach Steve Hansen, who had, a big job today because he had to tell 31 players that they were in. I'm sure he enjoyed that. You also had to tell a few guys that they weren't in, which I guess is the more difficult part of the job, Steve.
It was the hardest part of the job overall. There's 12 guys I had to ring and tell they weren't in, and they're good men. Then we're a pretty tight family, and we care about each other, and it is tough. But again, you can't get 41 into 31, so it's just one of those things you have to do, and give them a bit of time, and we're going to bring them all up on Thursday and have a decent chat to them when they're in a better place to be able to listen and hear the messages that they need to hear.
Right, so you're basically saying that when you ring them up, it's not really the time to go into all the reasons. They're probably just absorbing the facts, but you are going to take the time to have a chat with them.
Well, look, it's like any disappointing news you hear. Yeah. Once you've heard that, then you don't hear anything else, and you don't want to. So, the way we've tried to do it is give them a safe environment to be in when you give them the bad news, and then give them the opportunity to grieve a bit and be disappointed. And they need to be disappointed because it does show you that they really care about it. Yeah. And then bring them in later on Thursday. They'll fly up and we'll have a good chat to them about what's next and what's the process if we need them, and what our expectations are, and give them a good understanding of why they've missed out.
But we focus on the positive, which is this 31-man squad that you have picked, and tremendous competition for particularly some of those backline positions.
Yeah, well, that's right. We've got plenty of depth, and it's that's the depth of talent that has made it very awkward to pick the side, and it's made all the debates that we've had leading up to it being announced. Everyone's got an opinion out there, and they've all picked their own sides, and there've been some subtle changes, but by and large they're pretty similar. And for us as selectors, it's making sure we've got the right combinations for what we need for the type of game we're going to play, and also the uniqueness of the tournament with the rules that come with this tournament.
Steve, has there been much discussion in the last couple of weeks since Bledisloe, or was this largely a squad you maybe had in your mind ideally a few months back, or has it been tough?
Oh no, we wanted to give everyone a fair opportunity, and some guys needed some more game time, and hence why some of those guys played ITM Cup rugby. So we never finalised the team until last night, 9:30 after the last ITM Cup game, and the back three was a tough spot because we probably had another three guys who could have easily got on the plane and done the job that we're expecting the guys that are getting on the plane to do. So we wanted them to have the opportunity to really say, well, hey, I'm a contender and I'm playing really well, and so we left it right to the last moment. Yeah.
And you've had to make a really tough decision there, because Corey Jane and Israel Dagg were two outstanding players at the last Rugby World Cup. I mean, we know how important experience it is, but you've gone for two very exciting newer players to the All Blacks. So do you feel like you've taken a roll of the dice here, that you're taking a bit of a punt with these guys?
Oh no, we don't think we've rolled the dice. What we think we've done is pick the best players for this for this operation that we're going into and this tournament we're going into, and that's our role as selectors. You've got to pick the people that you think can do the job for you, and it's a, again, I emphasise, a very close run thing, but what Nihi and Waisaki bring is something different. Something that this team hasn't had for a little while. Hasn't had real genuine pace like Waisaki brings, and it hasn't had a guy who can turn on a sixpence like Nihi can. So both of them are game change type players, and we just felt, look, let's bring something different. The opposition don't know a lot about them, and hopefully by the end of the tournament they do.
Aside from the focus on the new guys, Steve, must have been great calling Charlie Faumuina and maybe Tawera Kurbalo, who after their injuries this year maybe didn't expect to be in this team, and what was their reaction like, and Tawera Kurbalo, what does he offer as a balance at halfback?
I'll answer that last bit because I can answer that. I can't answer the first bit because I actually didn't ring all the guys that got in. That job goes to the two managers, and Darren Shand and Gilbert and Oka. They make all those calls, otherwise I'd be on the phone all day. So my responsibility is to deal with the guys that get the bad news. So, but what I do know is, when we come into Continental tonight, there was a whole lot of people that are pretty excited. Well, not pretty, a very, very excited group, and looking forward to going to it. What does TK bring? He brings a real defensive edge. He's defensively one of the best halfbacks, I think, in the world. Though he hasn't played a lot of test matches, every time he's played, he's shown us something defensively. He's working hard on his passing and kicking game, and I think he brings something that's going to challenge probably TJ. Aaron's, without being disrespectful to the other two, our number one halfback, and brings something a little different than those two. But he just brings competition to the position.
Yeah, and of course you know that these guys are just a plane ride away, aren't they? You've got some really good players. You know that they can do the job for you if you need them. The other thing too is that people have talked about the age of this team, but in fact it's interesting to note, you go through, yes, you've got guys who are playing their fourth World Cup, their third, a lot of them playing their second. You've got 15 guys playing their first, so it does reflect how you have evolved this team over the last 4 years.
Well, actually, I think it's 17 we've got having their first one. And,
well, maths is not my strong point. We've been through this.
Yeah, well, you can't have everything, TJ. So, which is exciting. Like we knew that right back in 2013 we were talking about we needed to have experience, because you can't win World Cups without it, and can't win Test matches without it, to be frank. But you also needed enthusiasm and energy and something new, and we've tried to do that. And the exciting thing is, when you look at some of our more experienced players, just how well they're playing. Like Nonu's playing the best rugby I've seen him play. McCaw, everyone says, look, he's getting old, but he's still playing as good as you'll see. Dan Carter's best test match for a long time the other night against Australia. So, whilst we've got experience, we've got in-form experience, which I think is really, really positive. And we've got young people who are excited and in-form as well. So.
What's the process from here? So you've got the other guys coming up on Thursday. Does the team stay in camp right through from now on? And what are your movements?
Yeah, tomorrow is a big commercial day, so a lot of the commercial stuff we need to get done will happen. Some meetings through the management will do their meetings while that's being done. Tuesday and Wednesday are training days. And Thursday the team leave early in the morning, or the players leave early in the morning to go to the All Blacks to the Nation. And then the other guys will swap in and over, and some of the management will go home, but the key management that need to be part of speaking to these guys coming in will stay. Once that's happened, we'll all depart home. We go back together again to Auckland on Tuesday, the following Tuesday, and then we're in camp right through then and head off on the 10th.
Okay, well, we're looking forward to it immensely, and as you say, it's not about defending, it's about going out there, doing it again. The team's been picked. Thank you for coming up and joining us, Steve, and wish you all the very best in the World Cup.
Yeah, thanks very much. It's a really exciting time for everybody, I think, and it's going to be exciting to get over there and get into it.
Okay, well, thanks very much. Thanks also to Andrew Mertens, Scotty Stevenson, on behalf of the rest of the whole Sky team here. Thanks very much for joining us tonight. Been a terrific occasion here. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of talk about it over the coming days, but that's it. We have the 31 players who will represent New Zealand at Rugby World Cup 2015. Good night from the Beehive.